final edition of the Closed Fist. It's Will. I'm Russ. Derek, the Nightmare. Jazz.
Little phlegmy on that one.
Little phlegmy on that one.
Yeah, that's all right. Third try of the day. I'll let it.
Let it slide. But yeah, we're talking Royal Rumble. It's that time of year.
It's love this time of year.
Woo! By the way, the Royal Rumble can be seen here at the Transit Music Lounge, January 28th. Hey now. But you're not going to be here.
No, won't be.
You're going to be in a wedding.
Won't be. I won't be in the wedding. I'll be at a wedding.
Yeah, at a wedding?
Yeah.
Who is married on the Royal Rumble?
Talk to somebody in Columbus, Ohio. I don't know, man.
No, that's your problem. It's Ohio.
Yeah. I'll get to watch it. I just won't be here for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
I'll get to watch it. So
maybe I can venture out that night and come hang out for a little.
Yeah, hey.
I won't be dressed as the Undertaker as I was a couple manias ago.
Well, we're waiting for Mania for you this time.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. But yeah,
maybe I'll come as Braun Strowman this time. Somebody give me a wig.
Yeah.
Get these hands. Yeah,
that was great.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was awesome. Everybody's about to get these hands.
Oh, I'm waiting for the shirt. Man, I'm surprised they haven't made it yet.
They did. My buddy Matt sent me a screenshot of WWEshop.com.
Oh, they have
and it's literally, it looks like Braun's face behind it. It just says "Get these hands."
Yes, that's awesome.
You're about to get a few more sales. Just saying. But usually around this time we were kind of waiting because this is like the time of year where we might see talent jump ship from one organization to another, see guys from the past come back, and maybe a surprise or two. I mean, the Kenny Omega aspect of it, he's not going to be there.
One cool side note that I read an article about how Japan does their contracts. I'm not getting back into Japan again, but because you said they sign them in January every year. So if you ever notice, then when you're talking about this, when Gallows and Anderson, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, all that 1 year came over. Their contracts were up all at the same time.
Yes.
In the same year. They all jumped ship at the same time.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting. Like you said, that's all. But it was kind of interesting how when they're done in beginning of January, right before Wrestle Kingdom, and then Royal Rumble's the end of the month. It's pretty cool. It's an interesting little factoid or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, and AJ coming in at the Royal Rumble, there were rumors leading up to it. Is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there? Blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And then when he came out, it was like the place just became unglued.
Well, I mean, because I don't know if you know this, but they don't want none.
They don't want none. No, not at all. But one of the rumors that's making its way around the internet wrestling community is Daniel Bryan. I don't see it. I just don't see it because if they let him into the Royal Rumble,
too many things could go wrong.
It's not just that too many things can go wrong, but they're going back on everything that they were saying for over so many months now. Maybe in the last couple of years. I don't know.
I think that they're looking at this, if they do let Daniel Bryan back in the ring, I think they're looking at it from a standpoint of, we hear all the time, best for business.
Yeah.
What's better for business? Letting Daniel Bryan in the ring because he's got doctors that are now clearing him left and right. He's got how many different second opinions that say he's good to go, and the only thing holding him back is the WWE's doctor saying no, which is, at that rate, if that's true, out of fear. Lawsuit, whole nine yards. I mean, is it better to risk that, or is it better to compete against him going to New Japan?
Oh man, I mean, and this is.
I mean, again, because now we're talking a huge name, a huge draw that everybody knows, and if you don't think people from WWE are going to tune in to watch that man wrestle again, you're out of your mind.
And not just New Japan, but Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
they're kind of like the ECW.
Yeah.
A softer version of ECW, mind you, but they're like the ECW and all this whole thing that they have a huge company behind them. Mm-hmm. They have a very huge company behind them. So they have some money there, but they're like the underlying part of the whole competition thing, because you have New Japan, they've exploded over the last year or so, but Ring of Honor's just kind of like been, okay, we're doing our thing here,
They have no issue with working with New Japan. They've shown that time and again.
No, and they actually have a working agreement.
Yeah, they
with
do
them,
cross-promotional stuff regularly.
Oh yeah, and that's it's kind of like one hand helping the other.
Yeah.
The one business helping another.
Would you be saying that Daniel Bryan would be going home?
It's very possible.
If they don't clear him and his contract's up, Ring of Honor, where he made his bones, basically.
Yep.
It's where the American Dragon was born.
Yeah,
So-
and the thing is, there was a blurb on the internet somewhere. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but if he doesn't wrestle by WrestleMania, then he's done.
Yeah. That's that. I mean, I don't even know if that's a blurb anymore. I think that's fairly commonly accepted.
Yeah. So I mean, there's another example of, maybe another example of another talent maybe leaving, but at the same time, you can kind of see WWE's point of view of it. Because of that concussion lawsuit, there's like 50, 60 wrestlers out there, mainly from the 80s and 90s.
Right.
But still, I mean, that's a huge burden. And if you notice, when that concussion lawsuit came out, the curb stop left.
I mean, there's talk about banning the GTS now.
I mean, well, what's his name got hurt?
Yeah.
From it.
But there's also thing like, okay, I mean, the guys have also gotten hurt from clotheslines and the big boot and sweet chin music the super kick that everybody uses now. Like, I mean,
It's
every
music.
It'll always be sweet chin music.
But still, I mean, it's like, okay, what are you going to ban next? If you could literally ban just about every wrestling move except for maybe the body slam.
Yeah, and even that. You slip. You don't hook the guy's head the right way. You don't get him over enough. He kicks you in the head on the way over.
Whoops.
I mean, it could be. Just because how many guys has between CM Punk and who's the guy that uses it now? I can't think of his name.
Hideo Itami.
Yeah. They changed these guys' names so.
That's so much. Yeah.
Between the two of them, how many guys have gotten hit with it and haven't gotten hurt?
It could just be a one-off. In that case, but it's like every time I see a move made, like a super kick, or Aleister Black's Black Mass, which is an awesome move, by the way. I'm a firm, honest believer that if you want to get over in professional wrestling, you need a finisher that gets you over. And that is,
I mean, name an iconic wrestler that doesn't have an iconic finisher.
Exactly.
Oh, everybody.
Exactly. But I'm waiting for like maybe the super kick, or waiting for somebody to get like a concussion off of Aleister Black's Black Mass move. Every time I see a move that involves a head, it's like, ooh, what's going to happen? Yeah. And I don't want to say you hold your breath to it, but it's like, okay.
I saw that GTS hit home and I went, well, there's a banned move.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, the curb stomp comes back.
Yeah, exactly. Something's not quite. But getting back to the Daniel Bryan aspect of it, I mean, I think the place would become unhinged.
Oh, without question.
Without question. But are they willing to make that risk? I guess that would be the question.
That's going to be a business decision for him. That's going to be is letting Daniel Bryan back in the WWE ring good enough for business for them to take the risk?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all speculation and rumor on that one. You know what I mean? We could sit here all day, but they were.
Because they're really pushing this issue with him and Shane.
Well, because again, I sound like I'm talking speculation, but they talked about turning him heel and going with Owens and Zayn, and
who are rumored to be on the outs and on their way out.
But they think it makes him look bad, which it doesn't at all. But they think, we turn him heel, he'll lose business. He doesn't sign with us. It's atypical Vince move.
It's an A. You're right.
You know, it's the
Yeah.
atypical Vince move.
Bury him on the way out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see you later. There's the door, kind of thing. I don't know, but
I mean, how much do we want to say? Like, okay, they let him back in the ring for a one-off with Shane, and it's we'll let you wrestle, but you're losing to Shane.
But here's the thing.
I personally don't think they would ever do that because of all the things we just talked about with the concussion protocols and everything else and all that stuff going on. If they did let him back in the ring, they would not do it with Shane McMahon because when there's a chance of an issue, when they protect them, like Kurt Angle when he did that tables, ladders, and chairs when he subbed in, they protected him because he hadn't wrestled in 8 years or something
Right.
something like that. You watch the whole match. He got protected. Yeah, he got put through a table, but it was the flimsiest table there was. They held on to him like it was like the worst body slam ever. It was, like they'll protect anybody. Shane's stuff. I listened to an interview with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens about the night he turned and he jumped off the Hell in the Cell.
Yes.
And remember, he pulled him off the table, and he said it was literally a 0.8 of a second between when Kevin Owens would have gotten hit by Shane McMahon or, like in real time. And that's too much. When you got somebody like Daniel Bryan with the concussion stuff, I'm getting long-winded here. But it's just the point of they would protect Daniel Bryan, his first match out. And I don't think a Shane McMahon match would be the way to what they would do to get him back in.
The way I kind of see that whole thing playing out, I mean, this is to be another.
Shane McMahon's crazy.
Yeah, he'll jumps off the title. See, I don't think Shane feels his worth unless he's jumping off of something.
Right. Well, because unless Shane is jumping off of something, I don't think Shane has worth in the ring.
Yeah. Very good.
Like, why do we watch it? What's the only reason we want to see Shane McMahon get in the ring? Because he's going to jump off of something, through something, and miss. Like, that's what it is. It's going to be that, that leap of faith.
When he does the Van Terminator, I do like that.
Yeah, well, that is awesome.
He jumps across the ring,
Yeah.
kicks the guy with the garbage can. That was always awesome.
It's awesome. But one of the ways I see this playing out, and I'm kind of giving Vince an idea. Because that's what we do here.
Right.
Hire me, damn it. But I'm like, but I would be like, okay, maybe they would have Zayn and Owens split up. One turning on the other.
Right.
However, and then maybe Zayn represent Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens represent Shane McMahon. Whoever wins that match has total control over SmackDown, and the other one is out the door. Oh, guess what happens? Daniel Bryan's guy loses. It would be a cheesy way to do it, but I could see it.
We may as well go Bobby Lashley versus Umaga, aka Vince versus Trump.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Bobby Lashley's name.
You're welcome. That's called a segue.
Segue. Royal Rumble coming up. Again, we talked about guys coming over, guys, jumping ship. 2 guys from Impact Wrestling. 2 of the bigger guys. One for sure. The other one, I don't know yet. EC3, Ethan Carter III, has been. There are reports that he's at the WWE Performance Center because he officially has left Impact Wrestling, and Bobby Lashley is officially done with them as well. Or I don't know. Well, I'm about 90% sure he's done.
Is he going back to MMA maybe?
Possibly MMA, but there's always been that kind of like thing in the background of him going back to work for Vince. Now Vince needing bodies.
Does Vince need bodies though?
I think he.
Okay, correct. Does he need bodies? I agree. But size, because a lot of the dudes coming in nowadays are these,
He fits Vince's mold.
Exactly. That's more of my point. Is you got all these guys like you brought up Aleister Black. I love Aleister Black. He's not a big guy. He's like a CM Punk size.
He's CM Punk light. He's another
like Will Ospreay you brought up. These guys are not that big, and Finn Balor, he's not that big. He's cut, he's ripped, but he's not that big.
Yeah, and Ethan Carter, he's like 235-ish, but he's cut.
Yeah.
He fits what Vince wants.
Right.
So those 2 guys are a possibility of go.
I could definitely see Bobby Lashley. I know because they were high on him the first time he was here.
Yeah.
He just got caught up with crappy angles and, a crappy storyline and crappy version of ECW.
Yeah. Oh my God. That wasn't even ECW. That was like some.
That was WWE
Hybrid
like.
bastard child.
Oh my God. Redheaded stepchild. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not a redhead. Call Taylor.
Yeah. Ooh.
Shout outs.
But he'd be in Titus Worldwide.
Yeah.
They brought him in. That's what Vince would do. Or the soap opera writers or whoever's writing for these people nowadays. He'd be in Titus Worldwide.
I like Titus. I think the
I
role that Titus plays is kind of cool. It's like, okay, you guys
Jobber
are
of the
like
Stars?
You're like, well, not necessarily. I mean, but it's like, he fits a role. Apollo Crews fits a role.
I mean, and again, we're talking about another guy who's got the look, he's got the physique.
He's great in the ring.
He is great in the ring.
Both of them.
Yeah.
They're both good in the ring.
Right.
The
But-
problem is neither one of them can connect with an audience because they have the personality of the chair I'm sitting on.
Is that why they brought in Dana Brooke with them?
There's another
favorite?
one.
What's your
Oh my
favorite,
God. Every time, no offense, and she's gotten through her tragedy of losing her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Good for her. I'm not a huge fan of her being in the ring. I'm not a fan of her character that she plays on the show or whatnot. But I'm so glad that she made it back and is back doing what she's doing. But I just think that they brought her up too soon. She should still be in NXT. And I think they just brought her up for the sake of bringing her up to have a female body to put in the
Is she going
women's
to be in the
division.
female Royal Rumble?
I think so. I think she would be fine there. But I just don't think. But it's like they're putting her in situations. It's like they throwing her in with Titus O'Neil
Right.
and Apollo Crews just to have her something to do. It seems
TV
like.
time.
Do you ever just give her TV time? She's okay in the ring. Personality on the mic, that still needs work. But I just think that they do that kind of thing too much.
Here's my thing, and this kind of goes back to does Vince need bodies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Instead of adding another weird division like the European division and the 205, who cares live. Well, if this ever gets out to anybody of the higher ups of WWE, and I'm speaking directly to the camera here, give me something like Ring of Honor did, where they did the Women of Honor shows. Give me a full 2 to 3 hour show of just the women. Because I'm not going to lie to you, you don't give them enough time. The matches are great. They're fantastic athletes. But there's no story. Nobody cares that these 3 girls don't like these 3 girls because they're new, they're old, and now we're going to fight. It's not a story to me. That's not worth watching in my world.
And I think what's heightened this is how much better it's gotten.
Yes.
An hour.
Give them something.
I think
I enjoy what they're doing. I think it's great. And
They're putting on fantastic matches. They're better. They're like you're not seeing.
I'd say it's 50-50. And this is just me from the outside looking in. You got 50% of them that are amazing athletes, and they're all amazing athletes.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to take anything away from that. But some of them are very green. And it shows.
And the same could be said about any episode of Raw and SmackDown. You see those early matches. Guys who've been around it are still. A guy like Heath Slater is still. I think Heath could be very good. I think Heath is very green and underutilized, and he just doesn't have a direction.
He's a jobber to the stars. That's what he does.
And
Everybody has a role.
instead of throwing random pairings and groupings together, like why should I care that 2 girls who were literally ripping each other's hair out a month ago are now teamed up and best friends against this group of new people? There's no story there except for
true,
that we're
absolutely.
like we're the old guard and this is the new talent coming through.
I think
if you give them time, I think it could be a product worth watching that you could then mix into an episode of Raw here or there.
cancel 205 Live and just put it at just make it a women's show.
I mean, regardless of 205 Live, you have your own network.
Right.
You have a performance center where you already film programming. The only thing is you mix it in with the NXT tapings or house show tapings, and there you go. Actually, that's a very good idea. Like, give them like an hour a week, to build stories, and then sprinkle them into Raw.
And instead of relying on like, oh, these two had a beef on Total Divas, and
my God, don't.
Like,
I'm
exactly. Like, that's just as a wrestling fan, that's not something I care about. I don't care enough about your reality TV program for you to use that as the storyline for why these two have
Total Divas and I'm going to look at the camera and say this. Total Divas and Total Bellas is ruining what you have established with the women's division. I'm sorry, it is absolutely, because you know what? You show them, kind of like what you were saying, you show them ripping their hair out on the show, in the ring, and then, behind the scenes, they're great friends.
Yeah.
It ruins whatever mystery you have in pro wrestling. There isn't anymore,
and there's not,
because of things like that.
Like we all know that like these guys travel together, they hang out together, they go out to eat together and stuff like that. But like it's not like they don't put it on network TV,
right?
You're not tuning into Fox at 7:00 on a Friday and seeing total WWE superstars where John Cena and The Miz, who have this long-standing beef with each other in the ring, going out to a club together.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God. I mean, the one of the questions that I like to ask.
Oh, go ahead.
For when I'm out talking to the local guys is how much of a game changer social media is. Because and the answers are pretty wide range and whatnot, but there are some that talked to C.W. Anderson last week at the Buffalo Championship show. He's like, it's definitely a game changer. I asked a kid, he goes, it can help, but it can also hurt. And I think this is the part that has hurt pro wrestling.
And then you look at a guy like Zack Ryder, who the only reason he's still got a job with WWE is because of what he does and did on social media.
Yeah.
Who I think is another underutilized talent.
I love the broski boot.
So do I.
Awesome.
So do I.
Another banned move, but that will be banned soon. But
right.
But
staying on the female professional wrestlers, Ronda Rousey, was she coming in?
Yes,
she is signed.
She has signed, and there's, depending on how they want to work this, and I have no faith in you. Could be in a Royal Rumble. Because there is a female Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
there is.
And now you're talking about eating bodies. How many stars past their prime are we going to see enter?
I think you're at least going to. You're at least going to see Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus. Lita's not going to do it because of her neck.
Especially after Paige getting hurt now. With her
Paige. Yep. Now there's a huge loss right there. And I don't know if we've all seen the footage of it.
I did.
You can see her head kind of snap back, and one of our friends of the show, Tim, and I were talking, and it was like, whether it was a planned move or not a planned move and whatnot, it could be that that she was too far away,
right.
that she should have been closer to Sasha. Maybe that would have saved things a little bit, but you can definitely see the impact, and it's such a huge loss, not only right now, but what she did to get back into the ring.
Yep.
I feel bad for her. I wish
hard not to.
Nothing but the best for her. Probably going to let her be a valet or a manager to the other two that came up from NXT, and then they'll probably let her contract run out. And we'll see what happens after that. But the women's Royal Rumble is really interesting. Ronda Rousey, possible.
They've talked about, was it Karma?
Oh,
I saw that yesterday, actually.
Yeah, that's a.
Nia Jax needs somebody to go against.
And I mean, and so what? You're gonna sign her for? Because it's either her or Beth Phoenix. Like, you sign somebody for her to fight at WrestleMania. Like,
the only one close that's currently on the roster right now is Sarah Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a good athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, she can definitely carry herself.
What are you talking about, against Ronda Rousey?
No, against Nia Jax.
Oh,
but
I was just kidding. I was thinking.
No, but it's a good point though.
It is. I mean, because they're very blatantly leading up like this frenemy angle with
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Which, love that girl. Like, give me more of that, because she's fantastic.
I mean, and there's one of the few along with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, she is one of the few that is so good on the mic. I would say better on the mic than she is in the ring, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I saw the look on your face, and I knew
I would just wait.
yeah, but
Because she's great on the mic, but I mean, coming from a standpoint of you have a wrestling background or you MMA, like, do you think she's a good worker? 'Cause I think Becky Lynch is a great worker.
I agree.
Same size.
Yeah.
But body type, same size. Becky Lynch is fantastic.
oh, absolutely she is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'm not comparing her to that, but I just think she's your champion. Is it because she has such good mic skills?
I think so.
I mean, she's got a great look. She's hot. I'm not like taking away from that either, but
But I think, if you are carrying the belt, you have to have you have to have an ability to articulate yourself over the mic.
I mean, looking back through the men's division, guys who have been champions who didn't last because they couldn't connect. A guy like Jack Swagger who has the pedigree. Yeah. I mean, he's got that background to have been an absolute animal. Bobby Lashley, when he was with back with WWE originally, same thing. Had the look, had the background, everything. And these guys just. Brock Lesnar has the same or very similar background as Bobby Lashley. You put Paul Heyman with a microphone in front of him, and he is an absolute selling point.
But you know what, though?
And has been since the day he stepped in.
I just can go like this. I was like, that was the smartest move, Brock. Whoever made the move, if it was Paul Heyman or Brock Lesnar.
If memory serves, Heyman is the one who got Lesnar to sign.
That's correct.
Yeah,
okay, that's correct. So
I would not give WWE any credit for much.
I'm saying
Brock
Lesnar or Paul Heyman, one of the two, who said, "Hey, man, let's do."
I mean, because they're. Like, as soon as he came out, he had Heyman as the next big thing.
Yeah.
And then there was a while there where they split them up,
Yeah.
and Brock with a microphone was.
Yeah, he's not. I wouldn't say he's horrible.
When if they would let him do like a shoot style promo where he could just speak. Mm-hmm. And not have to worry about what comes out of his mouth, I think he'd be fine.
I think that kind of leads to, and I think we mentioned this a few shows ago, I think Joey brought it up, where it's too tightly scripted.
Yeah.
You're not letting these guys let their personalities come out because they're too busy trying to think of their next line.
Right.
Yeah.
You're trying to take athletes and make them actors.
And doesn't work.
No.
And not in this case. I mean, we have seen actors, athletes become actors and whatnot.
Look at any other sport.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL doesn't tell, like, there's things that you can't say, but they don't tell guys to say, like, listen, this is what you're going to say. When you get the microphone in front of you. Yeah. They say, like, listen, don't say this, and don't make yourself look like an idiot. Yeah. And they do that anyway sometimes.
Yeah, but now we're going into the Royal Rumble, and it's always about who. I think the Royal Rumble is a good indication about who is going to be the next one.
Yeah.
For the next through WrestleMania at least.
Right.
Out of what we've seen thus far, who do you think needs it the most? I mean, just looking.
Needs the Rumble win?
Yeah, who needs the Rumble win the most to get that title shot? Because right now we don't have all that many men that have been confirmed. We have Elias, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cena, Balor, Corbin, Matt Hardy.
Who needs it or who's going to get it?
Well, I think at this point, who needs it? We have Bray Wyatt, Rusev, Aiden English.
Joe.
Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe's hurt.
He's hurt.
I know.
He needs it the most.
I'm always hammering Samoa Joe. That's my guy. I know he's hurt, but...
I don't think you're ever going to see Samoa Joe get a title push.
Don't make me sad.
He doesn't have the look that Vince wants.
No.
I know, but he's...
Go ahead.
Fucking awesome.
But then you can even bring up Bray Wyatt in that same kind of mold.
You know I'm a big Bray Wyatt fan.
I know, and so am I. But of course, Negative Nancy over here.
Well, I'm not Negative Nancy. I just don't see it. I never have.
Oh,
don't see it.
When you see a guy walk out onto the ramp at Dallas's Palace I think last year's WrestleMania or
2 years ago.
2 years ago WrestleMania, and you see 100,000 people with lighters or lights.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's over. He's always been over. They failed to put him in the right program. Failed.
They haven't failed to put him in the right program. You can you can only play the character he plays and lose for so long.
Well, that's what I mean. They had him as Joey brings this up all the time. They had him as the eater of worlds, only to have him lose.
Yeah.
You lose credibility in that. If you keep that up, your credibility is shot real quick.
Yeah.
And when they made him champion, at first I was like, okay, this is cool.
Right.
And then he loses 2 months down the road for what? What was that for? To give it to Randy Orton, who's been what, championed like 13 times. And you know what? There was a pipe bomb. I don't want to say a pipe bomb shoot in the ring. I think it was with Cena. I can't remember exactly when it was. He goes, "You've had your opportunities to carry the torch for this company, and you failed each and every time." I don't think he said it exactly in that manner.
Randy?
Yeah.
'Cause Randy's lazy.
Because I just think that when you brought up a Vince guy, the look, Randy Orton is that guy to a T.
Yeah.
To a T.
And he's probably as small of a person, like physically, as you can get and still be a Vince guy. Because traditionally,
yeah.
look at Vince guys.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman is a Vince guy.
Oh my God,
You know
yeah.
why? Because he's friggin' huge and he looks like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, the reason that Brock Lesnar is allowed to do what Brock Lesnar does, work a part-time schedule and just carry that title, because he looks like a freak, he acts like a freak, he is a freak.
Batista.
And please, because we all know Dave Batista's looking to maybe come back again. And if they have him come back and win the Rumble again, or have him come back and put him right in a world title speed, like
Somebody's TV's gonna wind up in the lawn.
oh my God, I'm like, and I like Batista.
Pick me. I was like, I'm intrigued now. Why would you be? I mean, I agree that he should not win the Rumble.